All right, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Adriana Wong. I'm the marketing manager for Inova Solutions. Welcome to our session about Copilot. For the ones that have been assisting our joining our roadshows of the last couple of months, we have discussed this topic in our roadshows. So we are very excited that now it's available for every business. And we're excited to have Tupal with us. Tupal is our product manager in the modern workplace area, and he will be having this conversation with you. We encourage everyone to use the Q&A section for if you have questions. We are here for you, right? So let us know if you have questions. What are your fears or doubts, or what is it that you're excited about? Because we want to also learn from you. Next slide, please. All right. I'm giving the word to Marcy. Marcy will be continuing the introduction of Inova Solutions. I think most of you already know who Inova Solutions is, but still, we want to make sure that for the ones that do not know, here learn a little bit more about Inova Solutions. Go ahead, Marcy.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Marcy, and together with Adriana, we are the Inova Solutions Marketing Department. We're so happy to have you here today. I think it's been almost a year where we've been preparing for Copilot, telling you so much about Copilot, and now it's finally here, and we can finally let you see all the great stuff that Copilot has to offer your organization and how it can really amplify and make you work better, make you more productive. But before we get to all of that, I would like to introduce you to Inova Solutions. I would like to introduce you to the partner who is ready to guide you through this transformation of getting AI ready, because that is so important. As we've shown here, Tupal Persod is the product manager for Modern Workplace. He has some really exciting demos ready for you guys today. We've gone through this presentation yesterday, and I think you guys are going to be blown away by everything, all the capabilities of Copilot. But before we do all of that, let me tell you a little bit more about Inova Solutions, the partner who will be guiding you through this process. I would like to go in a bit more to tell you how we started. So we started as a licensing partner, and through the years, we've transformed in a solutions partner that can help you with every Microsoft solution that you require. I think one of the most important things to know about Inova Solutions is that we are a 100% Microsoft focused partner, and for the past 10 years, we have been awarded the Microsoft Partner of the Year award for Curacao. That is a huge accomplishment, and for this year, we are ready to again win the award for the 11th time. This is a remarkable achievement, and it is a testament to our commitment to excellence and to the strong regional collaboration we have as a Microsoft partner. So, Dupal, if you can go to the next slide. I want you to not only get to know Inova Solutions, but also the people who work at Inova Solutions. Because when my colleagues talk to you later, and when Dupal gets up later to talk to you, I want you to know, I want you to trust that we know IT, we know cloud, and we know Copilot. And you'll understand that why and how. For the past 14 years, Inova Solutions has been and continues to be the trusted Microsoft solution partner in the Caribbean and Ecuador. At Inova Solutions, we take expertise seriously. And as a matter of fact, all employees, so all the people you see here and every other employee at Inova Solutions is required to have a Microsoft certification or have any completed training in their first year of employment. So all of us here are, for example, certified in Azure Fundamentals, in Microsoft 365, so that we know what we're talking about. And then, of course, our technical team is even more certified, has even more trainings, more certifications. So we operate in the entire Caribbean, and we stay true to one of our core values, which is being local. So we have our Flying Dutchman, Jay, who travels around the Caribbean and visits with customers. We have the Puerto Rico team. We have the team in Jamaica. We have the team in Ecuador. So our local presence is very important and is one of the key reasons for our success. And with a lot of dedications, we've brought ourselves closer to the local community, and we've worked on our skills as I mentioned, and our expertise, and we have taken the steps to be flexible in order to better serve our customers and our potential customers. And the result is what you see here. It is a well-oiled machine that allows us to complete our mission on a daily basis. Dupal, can you go to the next slide? Our mission is to empower organizations of all sizes to create business advantages by adopting digital transformation. We're excited to share our knowledge, and we're excited to help you get ready for Copilot. So Dupal, take it away. It's time.
Thank you very much, Marcy. Thank you so much, Adriana. And once again, welcome to this exciting session. Let me just pause for a moment on our values. Inova is a local company. We're professional. We love to be efficient and flexible. So as you can see, my team has started with the introduction, and now we're diving into what we are aiming for. So thank you once again for your time and dedication, and just prepare to go the next mile together. This is a long journey, and we're not sprinting. We're going to do this as a marathon. So starting about what's happening around us. The world is indeed changing, and we're at a unique moment in time that is made possible in large part by digitalization of business, okay? So entire industries are transforming. The macroeconomic environment is shifting. We're at the technological inflection point. As you can see here, this is what's been happening around us. We haven't experienced any diffusion at this scale in the tech industry. Now, usually we see that the growth curve is sometimes at a gentle slope, and at this moment it's almost a vertical line. So the time to 100 million users for mobile phones was 16 years. Can you imagine that? That's a lot of years. For the internet, it's 7 years. Now, internet is something we cannot go by without on a daily basis. The last change was ChatGPT, which made a remarkable growth within 3 months. Okay, so what we're talking about when we're saying generative AI technology is here, it's because 100 million people has adopted this in the last 3 months, in the first 3 months. Okay, and the impact, it's real. How do we know that? Now, we're living through a momentous platform shift, and history has taught us that technology does drive GDP growth, and the pace of change is highly accelerating. Technology spend has grown faster than GDP for the last decades, and historically, tech is a GDP growth multiplier from 4 times in the 1800s to 20 times over the last century. Wow, 20 times. So unimaginably, AI will be the next leg up for the world's economic growth. Now, what are the early findings? As we accelerate, we must take into account that one of the predominant narratives around AI is a notion employees are fearful it may ultimately put them out of their job. Okay? Whatever we've been discussing, we must take that into account. Now, while 49% of respondents had some concerns about job security, imagine a staggering 70% would still choose to delegate as much work as possible to AI to lessen their workloads. So simply put, employees know what's in it for them, and the promise of relief outweighs this threat, if we can call it a threat. Okay, so the all-up value, as you can see here, is the productivity. 87% agree more productivity. That's what we all want at some point, okay? And what I do love about this is the value by workflow. Because can you imagine how much time we currently spend in searching for information as we're driving to this information area, searching for information, searching for valuable information, searching for the correct data. 81% allows us to spend less time searching for that information, so we can focus more time on what we're doing in terms of creativity. Now, there was some question asked if Copilot was worth more than a free lunch. Can you imagine, what would you think if Copilot is worth more than me offering you a free lunch? Let's see how the early responders gave answer to that. So if offered the choice, actually users overwhelmingly said they would pick Copilot more than a free lunch. And you can see the comparison in terms of how many free lunch, once a month, bi-weekly or weekly. It's still higher compared to the free lunch that people offered. Now, I do love some lunch, so my outweighs Copilot is still the winner here. How do we put this into a global perspective? Yes. The platform shift to AI is well underway. Just as customers turn to Microsoft and Inova solutions to help them make the shift to remote and flexible work. You remember that era a couple of years ago where we were forced to shift to remote and flexible work? Now they're turning to us to help them understand how this new era of AI will change the work yet again. So we've long relied on data to help us understand where work is going. And Microsoft does that through their annual Work Trend Index, as well as productivity signals from the Microsoft Graph and labor market trends from this platform called LinkedIn. And what we see here is something that is called digital debt. What now is digital debt? Digital debt is costing us innovation. So based on some research, 64% of employees don't have enough time or energy to do their job. That's interesting. Now, if you dive deeper, the primary cause of this time and energy drain are things like searching for information and navigating inefficient meetings. Do you recall that? When was your last meeting where you said, this could have been an email? Employees reported spending nearly 60% of their time on communicating and coordinating to do their day-to-day work, and just leaving only 40% for the creation, for the deep thinking, and the actual collaboration. 60 versus 40%. Now, one of the causes is that the volume of data, emails, and chats has outpaced our ability to process it all. And that's what we call, or I like to call, the digital debt. Why is that? Because every minute spent managing this digital debt is a minute not spent on creative work. And in a world where creativity is the new productivity, digital debt is more than an inconvenience. It's impacting business big time. Nearly two out of three people say they don't have enough time or they don't have enough energy to do their job. Does it resonate? And those same employees are 3.5 times more likely to struggle with innovation and strategic thinking. So do you recognize yourself in these findings? How are you feeling, or how are you coping with this digital debt? And that's where we want to start making the shift in towards a more modern workplace, and where Copilot can help us, where AI can help us. Because a recent study found that 87% of leaders believe AI will give their organization a competitive edge. In order to stay in business, your competitive edge is actually the main thing. So the question every leader is asking themselves right now is, how will my organization seize this full potential of AI while safeguarding my business, my data, and most important, my employees? How will I do this for your customers? Let that sink in for a moment. How will my organization seize this full potential of AI while safeguarding my business, my data, and my employees? Yes? Okay. So talking about some work trends index, the recent report tells us that 64% of employees don't have time and energy to do their job, right? So employees are starting to embrace the idea of using AI to support their work. In fact, 70% of employees are already open to delegating some of their work to AI to simply lessen their workloads. So right now, I'm already convinced that some of you have already been using what we call ChatGPT to do some of your basic works. Yes. So understanding the embracing the idea of using AI to support your work is already happening. So while for many, AI-related job loss is top of mind, which is around 49%, the data also shows that managers and leaders are looking to leverage this AI to empower people, not replace them. Keep that in mind. Managers are looking for AI to empower people and not replace them. Why is that? Because there were managers were two times more likely to say AI will be most valuable for boosting productivity versus cutting the headcount. And SMC customers are ready to embrace AI in the workplace. So we've been discussing already what has been happening, empowered by data-driven and fact checks on what's happening around us. Fuse it with AI. Now, where are the scarce points for you to ask yourself, where do I start? How do I start preparing my organization for the era of AI? And here's where I come in and help you navigate those steps. So let's dive deep. Pay attention to this. Before starting on the path of AI, it is important that every organization pause and think to 5 important questions. First question, what are your goals for using AI? Yes. What are the pain points within your organization that can be addressed with AI? What are your current AI capabilities? Does your organization have a data strategy in place? Let me repeat this one. Does your organization have a data strategy in place? And do you have the necessary infrastructure and resources to support these AI initiatives? So each of these elements will help guide and shape how you bring AI into your organization. Keep in mind, skipping one of these steps means skipping the steps you need to run this marathon. It's wise, but at the end, you will be tired, you will not reach the goal. So it is very, very important to go through these steps and make sure the most important one is that your organization have a data strategy in place. Everything else follows around that. Okay. Feel free to use the chat and the Q&A section to just pump into anything you would like to share or discuss, so I would know that we're on the right path in giving you all the information you would need this morning. Now, let's proceed with the AI-powered organization. First, we just focus on our foundational productivity. It means what we're doing right now. Okay, and then we go into what does Copilot mean for my organization. So the AI-powered organization, you have this Get Ready AI checklist. We've shared the readiness information with you for you to understand the crucial steps you need to take. So first step in this checklist is empower your employees with secure AI-powered tools. Introduce employees to secure generative AI with the Microsoft Copilot. Mind you, there's a difference between Microsoft Copilot and Copilot for AI for Microsoft 365. Yes? Next, once we talk about Copilot, after you empower your employees with the necessary tools, then this is where Copilot comes in. So I guess your question is, but why Copilot? We have been working in a way that we've been modernizing, we've been working remotely, we've been doing things, and it works out quite well. Now, let me give you my answers on those why. Copilot has many benefits, including the access to powerful AI models, because Copilot uses GPT-4 for text and DALL-E 3 for images. Those are those engines at the latest AI models where you have access to that. And not to mention, this access comes at no additional cost on those eligible licenses. Okay, why Copilot? Transparency and current. So Copilot cites the data source behind its answers. Copilot provides up-to-date answers with no knowledge cutoff, grounded in the Bing search index. And very, very important, business data is protected because Copilot doesn't save prompts or answers, nor use them to train the AI model. Yes. So these are my 3 answers to why you should select Copilot in this case. Now, how does this translate into your Workday? Your employees and teams can leverage Copilot to help them to do those tasks like summarize a PDF quickly. Once you get all those reports coming in, you can have a quick summarization. You draft emails more efficiently. You get answers to complex questions more with ease. So these are the simple common Workday use cases we have seen. And later on, I will switch to a demo environment to show you actually how this works. Yes? I know you've been receiving a lot of information, and I've mentioned Copilot versus Copilot for Microsoft 365. So let me help you put this in a simple way for you to understand what is available and what is Copilot for Microsoft 365. As Microsoft released Copilot, Copilot is already free. This is what you get already through those Windows updates. Yes? Copilot from Microsoft gets you additional features and additional value. So this means also that a platform shift this big will require new skilling, from prompt engineering to actually reimagining workflows with AI. And I know for sure that leaders already anticipate that employees will need those new skills in the AI era. And we're already seeing a 79 year-over-year increase in the number of job postings that reference GPT or GAI, which stands for Generative Artificial Intelligence. So it's not like an option, it's a requirement, and that's where the world is shifting towards. So employees are ready for this new aptitude. And 92% of technical professionals, including business decision makers, have used or tried AI tools. I guess you're also part of those 92%. So if you're on the management level and including HR, it is crucial to help employees learn these new skills to transform the way we work and to empower them with these secure AI-powered tools for the workplace on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so Copilot versus Copilot from Microsoft 365. Allow me to simplify things. On the last slide, we covered all the differences between the AI offerings, and it is a lot to digest. So this is the simplified view to understand the differences. Copilot and Copilot from Microsoft 365 work together to help your users and your organization be more productive while keeping company data protected. So my first recommendation, and write this down, is start with Copilot to lay down a foundation of safety with commercial data protection. Yes. And when you're ready for AI chat that's grounded in your company's data, such as emails, meetings, and files, only then I encourage you to explore Microsoft 365 Copilot. Okay, how does this work in our checklist? We start with empowering our employees. Next, we start standardizing our environment onto Microsoft 365. So a partner like Inova Solutions enters your journey when you start standardizing. We prefer to start beforehand because it's a journey. But when you start standardizing, that's where our licensing background, where we have decades of expertise, comes in. Because getting your data into the Microsoft 365 cloud does enrich your Microsoft Copilot experience. Customers who move their data to the Microsoft cloud will be better positioned to harness this AI and transformative potential. So this takes place by leveraging Azure for your workloads and Microsoft 365 for your users. How does it look like? This is the Microsoft 365 solution, where you have foundational productivity, and it starts with the Microsoft 365. It's a solution that stretches across all different elements that requires in the modern work that we're all working on. And these are essential prerequisites to leveraging Copilot for Microsoft 365. Keep in mind, zero trust is utmost important. Zero trust ensures that every access point to your network and data is rigorously authenticated and protected, reducing the risk of security breach. Robust endpoint management allows for seamless device control, maintenance, and security enforcement, creating your stable work environment. You want to be safe while you work. And productivity and collaboration tools designed to work together to help customers be more effective and efficient. That's where we come in. So throughout this comprehensive solutions, all these capabilities with a stack of products under each are designed to work together to minimize operation costs and complexity. And we firmly believe that zero trust and simplified endpoint management are the base requirements for a stellar productivity and collaboration experience. Okay, and then we move to our next checklist. Organizing sensitive data. So we start by helping you standardize into Microsoft 365. Make sure every user have the right access to the right internal content. Yes. Allow me to take just a 10-second break here. Yes. All is well so far. It's a lot of information, and I'm excited this morning. I want to make sure that as I'm the pilot, I want to make sure that everybody is on the same plane and we're going in the same direction with the same journey. So make sure that if you have questions, if you have concerns, share it with my team, and then we can address those and we can dive deeper as we go on. Okay. Let me do a quick shift at this moment, because I know that although technology works, it only works when it actually works. So let me step out for a second, and I'll be in a minute. Don't worry about it. It's all under control.
In the meantime, that the ball is just shifting, we've placed during this briefing, we place some questions. So please, if go in the Q&A section and answer them, because we also would like to learn from you, right? This briefing is really here for you to help get you started, to help you get in this Copilot trend and this whole transformation for your company. So one of the first questions that we ask in the Q&A is, how excited are you about this feature, Microsoft 365 Copilot, and what aspects intrigue you the most? So go to the Q&A section and give your reply there. During the time that we have left with you, we will be giving you some more questions. So please be interactive so that we can have some conversations going on. To Mikey Torres, yes, this will be available afterwards. We'll be sending you a thank you email with the presentation in here. All right. And if you have questions, you can start a discussion, you can start a question, and then Dupal will be answering, or anyone of the support team. Ready?
Excellent. Yes, ready to proceed.
Right.
So talking about your environment for a better preparation in order to adopt this Microsoft 365 experience, this is what I'm looking at. Copilot inherits your organization's existing Microsoft 365 security, compliance, and privacy policies. So your data is logically isolated and protected within your Microsoft 365 tenant, and will always be within your control. So by design, Copilot for Microsoft 365 respects user-specific and group permissions to any content or information it receives, and only generates responses based on information that users only give permission to access. Okay? So Microsoft 365 allows you to classify those teams to ensure the right people are in the right conversations. And Business Premium, Microsoft 365 Business Premium, specifically includes important capabilities such as sensitivity labels and retention labels to help you apply and restrict permissions in M365 apps and set up retention labels and policies for emails. So in this journey, it is important that you will start with Business Premium, because those capabilities that you need are included in this subscription. Okay, so doing these things will help ensure the semantic index for Copilot is reasoning over the set of business contexts that will surface the most relevant information from your organization. This sounds like a lot of information. It sounds like I'm talking to on a very technical level. The short answer is we can help you with this, okay? That's the short answer. We can help you navigate those preparations for your environment. How does this look like? Once we've done the first steps, now we're ready to introduce the Copilot for Microsoft 365. Because Copilot unlocks the productivity and it unleashes this creativity. And this is how it infuses within your Microsoft 365 tenant based on those natural languages, okay? And how does it work within the Microsoft ecosystem? It is built according to Microsoft comprehensive approach. Security, compliance, privacy, and responsible AI. This is the difference between what you've been knowing and what Microsoft or Copilot for Microsoft 365 offers. After implementing this, I'm sure what we're looking at is the results. And what are the results that we're aiming for? We can finally focus on what matters most. Because Copilot for Microsoft 365 frees your mind from the tools and those repetitive tasks so you can spend more and more time focused on what matters, running your day-to-day business, growing and engaging your customers, building your brand, and scaling your organization securely. So this means that you'll be able to serve your customers better with Outlook, land more deals, grow and build your brand more creatively, and work effectively with Word and PowerPoint, and think faster with Excel. Because Copilot is not something on its own. Copilot embeds itself across Microsoft 365 apps. So it works along you as the pilot, and now you can be more creative in Word, more analytic in Excel, more expressive in PowerPoint, more productive in Outlook, and more collaborative in Teams. So enough talking here, right? Let's start seeing this in action.
Whoa. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Stand still, that's the motto. Yeah. Brand new bands for the auto. Oh. Foot to the ground, full throttle. Big energy for the night like lotto. Y'all talk lots, never this quiet. Like a Seinfeld plot. Vault full of songs, all of them bombs. Something like a minefield guy. Boom. Get it, tickets running out quick. Bet it, never get it outbid. Said it, never had to shout it. They said I couldn't ever do it, okay, how's it? Fit a week worth of work in a minute. Machine well oiled, you know how I stay efficient. To-do list written, I do this different. Hold up, wait a minute, I ain't finished. Okay. Look, flows the same now. Paved the way, the snakes and fakes are chased out. Back to back to back, I changed the pace now. Had to stack the cash until the bank's out. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop.
Yes, this is what we've been waiting for. Although it's a video, we're gonna dive into some nice demos. And I want to make sure that you're excited as I am, because we're driving this plane together, and Copilot is here for you to work. So what does Copilot in Teams meetings actually can do? So imagine you have an appointment that conflicts with your weekly business review. What if you could do both? With Copilot, you can opt to follow a meeting, and after the meeting ends, Copilot will summarize what you missed. Now, I wanted to show you how it looks like, but I don't have like a double booking for this session. I booked this specifically for you, but you will get a notification in Teams when that recap is ready. And that recap meeting will highlight the contacts that was shared, summarized, and any action items for you or others whose names were mentioned. So the real magic of Copilots happens when you actually make it work for you. I'm going to share my demo environment because I do want to shift to Copilot in Teams to see what we can start experiencing, okay? Let me execute what we've been preparing for, okay? Side note, this is my virtual desktop running either on Azure or Windows 365. So although we're talking about Copilot here, I'm using the cloud of Microsoft in order to be more productive and more efficient. So after this, including Copilot, something to look into it as well. I'm opening the Teams and you can see Copilot already embedded in my Teams. This is what we've been looking for and seeing already, but how does it look like? So imagine the HR department needs to build something for a wonderful team building session. And it can just give you some ideas for a fun remote building event. I can just press this and it starts giving me the prompt here. And I show it and it starts giving me what I know already, but it helps me prepare that, okay? This is just basic information on what the tool can mean within Teams. Now, I know we had a roadshow before talking about those Copilot information. So let's use some information that we've compiled from the roadshows we've attended and see what was the attendance rate of the Curacao roadshow where I'm based in, and what was the top 3 most interesting topics, okay? So I know we have this PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to say use this PowerPoint presentation, which is the roadshow. Exactly. And share, hold on a second, share the attendance rate of the Curacao road show. Okay. And also I want to know what was the top 3 most interesting topics. Okay. Usually I need to go to the marketing team, request them this presentation, filter the information. Once the marketing team is ready, then I get the information. Since Copilot works within your Microsoft 365 tenant, and this information is not classified as sensitive details, so I can access it. Copilot helps me to get the information from the file with the attendance rate 71% with a total of 99 registrations, which is amazing. And the top 3 most popular topics of the event were AI, security, and Power Platform. Within 2 minutes, I got this information, so I know how to continue focusing on the information. And based on that, we have a session today talking about AI. How exciting is this? I didn't have to leave anything. I didn't have to reach out to the marketing department. I was be able to harness the data and get the information needed for me to continue working. I'm the pilot. Copilot is assisting me in this task, okay? And it also shows you the reference, so you can always fact check whatever is coming out of that prompt. You know that it got it from the right source, or you need to update that, okay? So this is a quick briefing on what you can do already in Teams because it harnesses the information within your organization. Anything else at this moment? I'm going to move on because I know Teams is exciting. I want to share with you how we can work with Copilot in Teams meeting. This is just a quick recap because I don't have a Teams meeting to share with you, but you have the intelligent recap. You can do all this information, and Copilot works on demand, so you can base it according to your needs on your unique prompts. Now let's move over to Copilot in Outlook. Yes. What does it look like? Let's go back to my demo environment, my virtual machine. I'm gonna open Microsoft Outlook. Okay. So last week, I received this email saying, hey, product manager, I'm interested in getting our organization AI ready. The ultimate goal is to implement this. What are the first steps to take? Yes. So now I can reply to this email. This is very short email, okay? This is only one thread, but I know you've been tangled within emails with 5 to 10 to 15 threads. So you can use Summary by Copilot, and it summarizes whatever has been happening in that thread. This one is a short thread, but I still want to show you how it works. So I know exactly what's been happening, and it gives you the information that you were looking for. Yes, imagine this and a long thread. I know it's going to save us a lot of time to be more productive. I'm going to reply here. And since I'm doing this demo, I have other things to go. I know what to say, but it's not coming out. I don't know how to start. So Copilot gives me the information to present some of those prompts, or I can draft a full prompt as if you know already what you do. I'm going to keep this simple and light today. So I'm going to say, you know what, just schedule a Copilot demo. And it prompts me in creating the draft. As you can see, this is still a machine and we're humans. So let me get this out of the way. And it gives me something quite simple, okay? I have the option to change things here, or I can keep it or regenerate another prompt. For our demo, I'm going to keep this. Keep in mind, we're still humans. So I'm gonna say, dear Drupal, and then thank you for your interest. We'll be happy to schedule us, etc. I would love to have your team as well to provide a full aspect on the topic. Why I want to have your team as well? Because this is going to change aspects from the organizational level. So we want to have that conversation on at C-level to make sure that we're all going on. And once I'm ready, I just press send and I'm done. Normally, it might take you 2 to 3 minutes. This in a couple of seconds, you have this ready. As you explore with this, you're going to get better. You're the pilot. This is Copilot. So Copilot follows your lead. I'm going to shift now to Copilot in Word. Okay. Just to give you some quick examples here. Copilot in Word transforms every part of the creative process. Okay. So next to Copilot, Designer is also the latest addition to the family of the Microsoft 365. And it's helped you making Word documents much more alive and lovely. So let's shift now to a Word document. Let me get that for you in my demo environment. As Inova does cloud migration projects, we have some roadmaps that we'd like to discuss with customers. So I'm going to open this beautiful roadmap that we create. Yes. Since probably I'm new to this team, so I need to figure out quickly what this is about so I can be updated once we're discussing this document internally. So what I can do is I'm going to have Copilot help me and just analyze this document and draft an executive summary in 400 words. I need to just know what's going on at this moment. Instead of going to all 8 pages, because my meeting is in the next hour, I'm going to have Copilot help me to get me the executive summary in 400 words so I can be updated. Mind you, this is not a shortcut. This is Copilot helping you. You still have to read the full document in order to understand what you're going to discuss. Okay. Let's see if Copilot is giving me the information. Here we go. So it analyzes this and it gives me a summary of the documentation. I can just make this bigger. And then in a nutshell, it gives me what it's about, it explains the benefits, it gives me the information about Inova solutions, everything I need in order to be updated. Yes? Now, I know we have been working on this a long time, but I want to make sure that I'm getting the best out of this document once I'm discussing it with customers. So only by analyzing, I want this Copilot to give me some improvement ideas. So I can then prompt and say, give me specific examples on how I can improve it, because I have this for the HR department. So I want to improve it for an HR presentation. Now we're working side by side to get some examples for improvements. Almost there. It seems like it's taking a long time, but can you imagine sending it to someone, have them read it, and get those improvement examples? I'm sure it's going to take more than this 5 minutes that we're waiting on. So the productivity and the creativity still remains in place. And I'm still going to send it to my marketing team to make sure that we present it nicely. But in order to be updated, it gives me already some examples. I can show how the cloud migration will impact HR processes and systems. Nice thing to include. It gives me to provide more details on training and support will be available to HR staff during and after the migration process. So those are specific improvements that gives me in a nutshell how can already have a great document ready for assisting our customers, which we've been doing already. But now it gives me some improvement aspects which elevates and remains and keeps the company with a competitive advantage, right? Now, this is from an existing document. You remember that roadshow we've done? Because I want to discuss that as well with the marketing team to see how we can better our next roadshows once we're local again in your country. So I'm going to say, write a recommendation report using that roadshow from PowerPoint. I want to pause here for a moment because your documents is in the Microsoft ecosystem, you can now collaborate using different document, using a PowerPoint, getting that PowerPoint information into Word. That is something I truly love, okay? Now I can give my marketing team some recommendation points. So I can prepare, I know already what's in the report, but once I go to the meeting where we evaluate stuff, Copilot is helping me already using the data we have and get those findings and compile it in a one-pager. You remember that meeting in the beginning? We said this could have been an email. Imagine now I can share this with our marketing team and they know in a nutshell what we can continue improving so Inova can continue doing an excellent job serving all of you. Okay? Those are the main findings. And then you get the main recommendations. You see? You always have to fact check the recommendation and see if it makes sense, if we've done this already. But it's nice to get those details where Copilot now works side by side with your marketing team, your sales team, and any other department. So I can also test if this conclusion resonates with the conclusion that marketing has gained from themselves. Remember, HI remains relevant, and we compare it to AI, human intelligence included versus AI. Okay. Enough about words. I guess you know just a few examples here on what the capabilities of Copilot are. This is not thinking about the limitations, but thinking about the endless opportunities that we get out of here. Let's proceed now with Copilot in Excel. As we near, here we go, moving back to getting some sample data to make sure that everything we share here is okay. So in Copilot, what we already have is analyze this data. I'm going to start with the Copilot instantly. Okay. So to update, what you see here is this is from an insurance company where they have their policies and the values with their location and the construction. So this is insurance on apartments and office buildings. Yes, more or less. So you understand highly what we're going to do here. So I want to know the top 10 values and the bottom 10 values. I know already some of you are excellent Excel workers where you go and do those conditional formatting, you fill in those filters. Now, I can do that as well. Now, I want to make sure that Copilot helps me executing that because it takes me less time to get the same information. So in the insured value, I want to highlight the top 10 values and the bottom 10 values. To make a distinction, I'm going to do that, the top 10 in green and the bottom values in red. And let's see how this works out. Now, what I do love about Copilot is after it's done the changes, it shows you what it has done. So you always remain in control where you see that the green fill color has been applied and the red fill color has been applied. Now, how do we fact check this? We can just sort them by largest to smallest, where you can see the top 10. Yes. And by smallest to largest, we can also see the top 10 highlighted. Okay. This seems simple. It's about the idea of understanding all the capabilities possible. But I want to know what's going to happen with my insurance value if it drops 5% over the next 5 years in a specific region. Okay. So I want to create a column to make sure that the total insurance value in the region East, yes, if that value keeps lowering by 5% for the next 5 years. You can do this with a Excel formula. I'm sure many of you can. I would like to accelerate this and gain time so I can focus on the output and then work with that data. So using that prompt, I know already what I want to see, but calculating 5% over the next 5 years in a formula, it's going to take more time and learning from my side. So I'm going to use Copilot to help me achieve that. Okay. Again, lovely. It tells you what it has done. It gives you the formula. You can get the explanation to fact check and see if the calculation you've presented matches what you're looking for. And then you can give it the column if you are satisfied with that information. So it doesn't change the data. It gives you that information and you can then insert it. Okay. So if you're good at math, then you can calculate 5% over the next 5 years to make sure that this happens correctly. Okay. I've already tested it and I know this is okay. It's about the concept of understanding that calculating a 5% depreciation on your insurance policies over the next 5 years in a specific area can now be calculated and done with the assistance of Copilot. Getting all that Excel work for you like we've been doing now gets more exciting. Yes. So there's a lot more to execute here. I just want to make sure that you understand all the capabilities, where you can input, where you can put this to work within your organization by following these steps and actually empower your employees and your departments by using Copilot. So let's move on, last but not least, to Copilot in PowerPoint. I see my PowerPoint missing the PowerPoint slide. That is lovely. Nevertheless, I know exactly what to do. So you remember that cloud assessment that Inova does when we migrate data to the cloud? I cannot present that Word document to a management team once they call me for a meeting. So I need a PowerPoint to make sure that all that information is in there and we can go over it. And afterwards, we have a document to get into the details. So I'm going to use Copilot and I say, create this presentation. Oh, it already tells me one of the mainly used prompts. Create a presentation from the file Inova Cloud Migration Roadmap. Okay. I believe this step is quite similar. You create a full document and now you need to present it to your team, to the management, to your customers, to any other attendance in a meeting. And sharing that Word document does not get that message out there. So you would need, in this case, a PowerPoint presentation to get to the essence so you can collaborate, so you have an effective meeting. Now, it takes me already time to compile this Word document with all the information. So if I have to now go and translate it into a PowerPoint, it's going to take more time to get it done. Now I call Copilot in, I'm still in the driver, and Copilot is going to help me create that document out of that presentation out of that document to make sure I can get my work done. Okay. It generates the slides as well. We're almost there. There we go. Now, let me pause here for a moment because Next to Copilot, I love the designer aspect within PowerPoint as well. And it even mentions you can use a designer to adjust for layout, because I know for a fact you want this to be in your company layout to reflect that nice branding. But what I want to focus on is now the data. Everything is already here. And it gives me the speaker notes. So next time I'm presenting something, I already have a base. Now my time goes into the creativity where I can now shift and get those information specifically for the target audience. This saves me time. It unleashes my creativity, and I can continue doing what I've been doing already. But now Copilot has helped me accelerate that process. Just a tip of the designer, where now you can, of course, make those slides nicer and more friendly for any other audience. So this is the power of where the creativity comes alive by using Copilot. Of course, I can also say summarize this presentation. And now I can use the same features to get a quick scope on what's happening in here. So anyone on the team that needs to be updated can use to summarize this and get updated instantly, where we talk about Inova solutions, we talk about the cloud migration we do, the approach, the assessment, and the adoption plan. This is what we've been already doing with many of you. With using Copilot, it's now accelerates so we can actually do the migration. We can actually help you and thrive, make sure that your organization is getting the best out of your Microsoft 365 environment. So for me, in respect of the demo side, this is it. I don't want to go much deeper because I believe every organization has its unique flavors. What I want to make sure that you get out of this presentation, of this session, is the possibilities, the endless opportunities that arises within your organization, and why it's necessary to start doing those steps, and where Inova can help you throughout this journey. I want to focus on something very, very important, which is data security. Anything is possible with Copilot, but everything rests on security. Okay? Walk with me in here.
Microsoft 365 Copilot works with the data security controls you have in place for file access, labeling, classification, and data loss prevention. Mario Rogers works for Violet Martinez, and both are on the same team at Contoso. Mario and Violet are also members in the same group working on Project Falcon. Now we'll start with Violet, who's been working with the procurement and contract management teams to sell their partner ReliCloud 1500 Mark 8 quadcopters. And you can see the file is labeled highly confidential with restricted access, and it describes all the terms in the purchase agreement. Because Violet has access to the file, she's able to search for and find it in SharePoint and Microsoft365.com. And of course, Violet can also navigate to the file's location in the agreements folder of the project site to find the purchase agreement. So now let's look at Mario's experience. Even though he's on the same team and working on Project Falcon with Violet, if Mario tries to search for the Contoso purchase agreement, he won't find it. And there are a few purchasing documents that he does find without sensitive information, but not the one that Violet's working on. And if Mario knows the location of the purchase agreement and tries to navigate to it directly, it just appears as an empty folder to him. And when Mario launches Word on the web and creates a blank document, then prompts Microsoft 365 Copilot to summarize the Contoso purchase agreement as a reference file, because Microsoft 365 Copilot respects the file permissions of its user, Copilot also cannot access the purchase agreement. Now, if we switch back to Violet's screen, because she has permission to access the purchase agreement, she can use Microsoft 365 Copilot to summarize the file. And after a moment, you'll see it created a summary of the purchase agreement, and Violet decides to keep it. Then data security controls for Microsoft Purview discover sensitive information found in the Microsoft 365 Copilot generated content, The document is automatically labeled as highly confidential, and policies are enforced to restrict access to the document.
This is the reason why I always stand for data security, data protection, sensitivity labels, and just enough access. Because while we unleash Copilot, we must make sure that the only person accessing the specific data are the ones authorized to do that. So Inova helps you guide in this process where we start with those checklists that we've mentioned. And once we have that in place, then we can unleash Copilot and work for looking for all those endless opportunities and possibilities. Now, how does it work within your environment? Yes?
Microsoft 365 Copilot is transforming work with the power of generative AI. It's built on Microsoft's comprehensive approach to enterprise-grade security, compliance, privacy, identity, and responsible AI. Copilot automatically inherits your organization's Microsoft 365 security, compliance, and privacy policies, so you know your data is protected and always in your control. It all starts with your Microsoft 365 tenant. Data stored in your tenant is encrypted and only available to the users within that tenant. Your existing Microsoft 365 permissions and policies ensure that data won't leak between users and groups. And Copilot users only have access to data they've been granted permission to see in Microsoft 365, using the same technology customers have relied on for years. Your tenant sits inside the Microsoft 365 service boundary, where Microsoft's commitments to security, compliance, data location, and privacy are upheld. The Copilot large language models, or LLMs, that process your data sit within that same boundary, much like other Microsoft 365 services. Microsoft does not have eyes-on access, which means no one can view your data. Your data is not used to train the LLMs. And our EU customers can be confident that their data is processed within the EU data boundary. Microsoft 365 Copilot, enterprise-grade security and privacy for the era of generative AI.
Excellent. So as we're rounding up, Microsoft truly believes that development and deployment of AI must be guided by the creation of an ethical framework. And Microsoft has six core principles that should guide the work around AI. 4 core principles of fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, and inclusiveness, underpinned by 2 foundational principles of transparency and accountability. It's very crucial to develop AI systems that can protect private information and resist attack. So your data is not used to train or enrich the foundational AI models used by others without your permission. So you don't have to worry about anyone other than your organization benefiting from that AI, from AI that is trained on your data. And your data and AI models are protected at every single step by the most comprehensive enterprise compliances and security controls in the industry. So that's why it's very, very important to have those requirements in your place in order to, whether you're adopting AI or not, by default, that's what Inova stands for, to make sure that the Microsoft Cloud that you're working with is protected at all times using compliance and security controls. Okay. Now we're nearing the end of this presentation, so I want to check with my team, do we have some pending questions? Do we have some aspects that we still need to address based on the audience requests?
Hey, Dupal, thank you so much. Yes, we have a question from Jose Ramirez, and he's wondering if Copilot is ready for Power Apps.
If Copilot is ready for Power Apps, that's something I have to verify with my team. I am focus on the Microsoft modern workplace aspects. What I'm informed about is that Copilot is available for the dynamics aspects. So if anyone from my team can confirm if it's indeed ready for Power Apps, please help me in this aspect. Otherwise, after this session, we will sure get back to get that answer confirmed and provided. I have Jay here. Jay?
Jay, I allowed your mic, so you have to unmute.
Sorry, I thought that you muted me. Hey, hi everyone. Yeah, so Copilot is available for Power Apps. I had our presentations during the breakfast sessions already illustrated some examples of Copilot functioning, but it's generally available now.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you for confirming that.
No, I have other questions, but Nestor already answered most of them. If there's anyone, please raise your hand. If you have questions, we can unmute your mic. We can allow your mic, I mean. Oh, there's Nestor. Nestor, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, I was actually answering Jose's question as we speak. So there is actually, Microsoft has been, let's say, adjusting the names of everything Copilot just to keep us on our toes. And so we'll choose our verbiage carefully here and say that there is a Copilot powered suggestions engine in both Power Apps and Power Automate. So we can ask Power Apps, hey, I want to build an app that counts inventory in my warehouse. And it will suggest both a UI and a data source for that Power App that I want to build. I can also tell it about a Power Automate flow that I want to build, and it'll suggest connectors and steps. It isn't technically branded as Copilot for Power Apps or Copilot for Power Platform. Probably it will be soon, but it's, if you look for Copilot for Power Apps in the documentation, you may not find it. But there is a Copilot powered engine that gives you suggestions, does essentially what you would expect it to do. You can also, if you've built a Power App or a Power Automate flow that connects to external data, you can, through your data privacy settings, allow Copilot to access that external data through those secure Power Platform connections. There's a Microsoft Mechanics video on that. I'll post that in the answer to Jose.
Cool. Thank you so much for elaborating on this. We have over 70 attendees. Any questions? Now is the time, guys. Now you have our sales team in here, our technical team, our experts in here. Take this moment to ask questions. Of course, you can ask questions afterwards, but hey, maybe the other one right next to you also wanted to know something that you were intrigued by. You can raise your hand so I can give you, I can allow the mic. But I think to Paul, everything was very clear. Yes. It's amazing what technology has come to. Let's give a couple more seconds. Let me see the Q&A section. All right, I see Andre Blair. What about Copilot for SQL Server Management Studio? Yes, sir. Maybe you can answer that. I have another from Dirk Hernandez. Thank you so much for your questions. They're really great questions. We try to, of course, answer them as fast as possible. Is there a special query language or syntax for best results?
So we have two questions now. The first one, Nestor, is something you can assist with when it comes to that. I know for a fact that there's the Open AI in Azure, where I believe those are the resources. Nestor, go ahead.
Yes, sorry. So Copilot for SQL Server. There is no Copilot for SQL Server per se. If I am a developer working with SQL statements in a particular data source and I want help writing SQL statements, what would interest me is Copilot, GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot is the code generation engine on the Copilot family. It's been available for a while, and it can not only help with SQL, but with a bevy of other programming languages. If I'm more on the data analysis side, then I'm probably going to be more interested in the Copilot for Power BI, which would allow me in those more DAX-oriented scenarios, those more data analytics-oriented scenarios. Let me see if there was another question.
About
special
the
query
query
language or syntax. There is no special query language. The advantage of GitHub is that, sorry, of Copilot is that you query it using natural language.
Yes.
But of course, this is a computer we're talking about. So there are tips and tricks for improving our queries. They call this query engineering. But within the Microsoft documentation, there are already tips and tricks we can use to improve our own queries to Copilot. I'll see if I can find those and share the link for Dirt.
So on top of that, I know that to get those prompts, to get acquainted with those prompts, there's something called Copilot Lab, and you would have access to that. Where, let me show you and see if I can get that. Where go. There's Copilot Lab, and Copilot Lab is also accessible throughout your apps. But here are the simple prompts to try. This is from the productivity, the modern work aspect, where you can get those prompts going on. And then it's based on some apps, of course, those productivity apps. And for example, in Outlook, these are some recommendations. Mind you, once you have your prompts, you can also save them, and then they will be available within your environment, so you can then reuse them and be more intelligent around that. You can get, of course, those quick tips. So Copilot Lab here is your go-to place in order to get started in terms of understanding what to ask and how to ask them based on those natural languages. I hope this helps as well, covering what we're discussing.
All right.
Adriana?
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for the questions, guys, but we have to start wrapping up. Could you go to the next slide, please?
Of course. This is the most exciting one. So at the end of the day, you ask yourself, where to start? How can I, what's the first step? I know licensing, I have my environment. Inova is here to help. We've been always here to help, and we continue being to help. So be one of the first businesses from one of the organizations to secure a spot and get the Copilot Readiness assessment. This is where we're going to guide all those steps we've been mentioning here, but then tailor to your organization based on what you want to achieve. So you have to do your homework, understand what are the goals, what I want to achieve with AI, and we will be there to guide you and walk with you this journey. So grab this screen, secure that information, and then you can things you can do to get your AI transformation started today. Yes. Nestor.
I will add to that and actually go a little bit off the rails by adding some details that maybe even Adriana and Marcy don't know about. So there are essentially 3 levels of this service we can deliver to you guys. We are offering 10 free spots for level 1, which is our Copilot Readiness Assessment. This is an assessment that is powered by an online survey. It's a tool that Microsoft has made available to us. The survey itself is just typical questions about your tenant, but that survey details go to our technicians who can then provide personalized recommendations on what your organization needs to do and deploy in order to have a secure Copilot deployment based specifically on your current licensing, the types of data you're managing, types of data you plan to manage in this Copilot deployment, your organization size, etc., etc. We can go one step beyond that by doing a Copilot implementation workshop. In the workshop, we will also perform the readiness assessment, but we will also do exercises to walk through adoption and implementation in your organization. We won't actually touch your tenant, and so it's great for organizations that prefer to have their own teams do the actual work, because what we'll do is we'll meet with execs and IT level staff to be able to ensure that we can deliver to you guys a plan that you can then follow to ensure smooth adoption. But you guys actually go ahead and perform the implementation and adoption work. And so the final level is the get ready for Copilot package, in which we do everything for you. So we'll do the assessment, we'll be able to deliver the workshop, and we'll actually be able to go ahead and implement those recommendations, or at least the ones you give us the approval to go ahead and move forward with. And we'll be able to perform that job for your team or alongside your team. There are also a couple of brand new, this is a sneak peek, sort of coming soon, Copilot powered services that we're going to be delivering. The first of those is actually not powered by Copilot for Microsoft 365, but powered by the underlying OpenAI GPT models. So we're able to take any data source your team may have. Maybe you're a retail customer with a knowledge base on your products. Maybe you're a government customer with a large notebook full of procedures that your employees must follow. We can take these data sources, feed them into an OpenAI data model, and actually build a responsive bot that can help both internal or external users to perform their tasks more smoothly, to automate tasks even that they may have to do manually. So what we're essentially doing is helping you guys build your own flavor of Copilot with your data sources. So feel free to ask us about these services. We're going to be continuing to talk about them in the coming months. Some of these are as new as today. So it's a very exciting time, and we hope to be able to share more information with you. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much, Nestor. So we've been seeing the signups for the assessment. We have you said 10. Oh, okay. Now thanks for the heads up. So we are at 7. So people, the one that really wants to get in, you have 3 spots left. All right, next slide, please. So thank you all for attending. You know, it's for us as a Microsoft partner, as your cloud solution trusted advisor. We are here to help you in your transformation. Before you go, do not leave me just yet. Please, we have a survey. The link is in the chat. We have a QR code. Please scan it because we want to understand, hey, how was this webinar? Anything that you learned? How was the presentation? How was Dupal and his presentation skills, right? Maybe he has to, I don't know, dance more. I don't know, just saying. But please give us your feedback because we value your feedback. Because of your feedback of the roadshows, we are doing this session. So it's not that you are only giving feedback because, right, yeah, everyone has to give feedback. No, we listen to your feedback and we appreciate your feedback, because at the end we are doing this for you, our customers, our fan base. Let me call you my fan base. All right, guys. Hey, I think we are just I'm not sure we're out of our time, but thank you once again for your assistance, and we hope to help you in this new transformation, this new trend, which is the AI technology within your business.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Bye-bye for now.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Enjoy the lunch.
Bye.
Bye-bye.